Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first installment of my new series, the Rated Round Recap. Normally, in every installment, we will cover a month span of the rated rounds that I play in said month. But since this is a new series at this point, and we are already heading into July, this is going to cover, January through June alongside just recapping the score and the rating of the rounds for future rounds and for one round today. I will be discussing in detail what I do during the rounds so I can get to that final score, as I will probably record these in separate parts after just after I have those rated rounds and I compete in them. So, without further ado, let's take us to the beginning of the year where I crossed my 1 year milestone in my journey. Let's go to January 2024. So, in January, I started the year by playing the Winter Lines at Pipeline event. It was a 2 round thing to where the first round started in the morning. In between the first and the second round, the rain started to really pick up. So, the ratings were really boosted in the second round. First round, I shot +7 with an 885 rating, I believe. Second round, shot +6. At one point, I was in the lead with, I think, 7 or so holes to play. Really got in my head. But yeah, shot +6. The rain and the conditions really boosted it up to a 929 rating. So that will bring our average for January at a 907 rating. In February, I competed at the third annual One Love Invitational at the Golden Grove Disc Golf course. This course will be prevalent later in a major way, but I shot okay. Still playing. Keep in mind, I'm still playing MA2 at this point. I believe I don't start playing MA1 until around March. So yeah, first round I went +3 and I shot, it was 906 rated, I believe, and then second round +4. I actually had Ryan Mon caddying for somebody on that card. He saw one of the dirtiest spit outs you will ever see. Stepper from around 45, 50 feet, hits dead center, cuts through, goes on the left side, and then falls out of the left side. Again, that second round was a +4 at 902 rating, which lands us at around 904 average for the month of February. Oh, do you see this video over here? You see this cool video over here? It is a part of my Project 1% series where I showcase all the work that I'm doing and showcase all the things that I'm trying to improve in my disc golf game. And this is part of the Pipeline Blues monthly rounds that I have out there trying to beat a certain score. So it's a great series. Just had a great video come out a few days ago with the second monthly round at Pipeline Blues. So go check that out. So March is where I picked things up in a major way, played multiple events. I competed in my first collegiate tournament, and I was able to get a natty bid for the University of South Carolina. Unfortunately, I did not compete on the natty team, but March started out just on spring break going to the Southeast Collegiate Open where I shot 4 down. It gave me my first rating above 960 at a 962. I came 18th out of, around 144 players. I played way above my expectations. I really played free there. I could have honestly made a push for a 970, 980, but we had a big backup on a hole. Really ruined a bunch of the momentum I have. But at some point, I was 7 down through a stretch of 8 holes. So that was a real breaking point. Yeah, just a big breakthrough for me. So then we moved to the Aw Yeah 5, which was held at Merrill Gray Disc Golf Course in, I believe it's Winsboro. It's counted as Columbia. It's a great private course, but I came in a tied third place for that event. It was 3 rounds. After the first round, I was only down by 3 strokes to fellow USC Gamecock Daniel Tedeschi. But yeah, then I played the next 2 rounds with the same card of Daniel Tedeschi and and another guy named Kalen. I know him very well. He's a great guy to have to be on a card with. But round one, it came in at 1 under for a rating of 951. Had really good headspace. So we had round one and two on the same day, 2 shotgun starts. So we come into round two. I shoot 3 over for a rating of 913. Not what I'm expecting, but the entire card didn't shoot well. If I shot good enough in the third round, I would still be in a position to, possibly take something down and have my first win as an amateur, but in the MA2 division. I come in that Sunday and I just cannot get anything going. My putt's off. I can't throw very well. I ended up shooting 5 over, ending in tied third, and I believe it was an 877 rated round. So really, an iffy end. End up winning a field wide CTP to get an extra disc at the end, but a disappointing finish. I was still happy with how I played, especially in the first round. Another 950 plus round to take home in the month of March. So then to round out March, I competed at the USC Upstate Disc Golf Club fundraiser at the USC Upstate course. Round one, I had a score of, I believe, 6 under. Yeah, it was 6 under, and another 950 rated round. I was riding high, tied for being on the lead card, but the person who I was tied with had a much lower PDGA number than mine, so they got to be on the lead card. Shout out Vern from Great Courses in South Carolina, great guy. And then round two, I didn't get as the start that I wanted. I started off with I believe a bogey, so I ended up just kind of throwing the round away for no reason. Started doing very dumb stuff, trying to have fun, and then when I tried to lock back in, I just couldn't. I couldn't, continue my play that I had been showing in the month of March, and I ended up shooting +1 at USC Upstate, which is around 850. Yeah, it came in at an 859, so not a great way to finish. That left me at around tied seventh for the event out of 12 people in MA1. So for March, big improvements. Big breakthrough for me. I feel like that round at Seco was the breakthrough round for me and really important for all of my confidence, knowing that I can shoot pretty hot and that all I need to do is just hold it across the entire round. But came in at a 918 average for March as a whole. April to me can be viewed as a step back, even though I did put together some good rounds throughout it. I started off with 2 league rounds at Owens Field. I ended up not shooting too well. I mean, First round came in at a 909. Second round, I shot probably one of my worst rounds to date. It came in at an 815. Unsure about what those are. I'm gonna have those negligible. Mark those off as kind of canceling each other out in terms of the actual score. So yeah, only played 2 weeks of that league. Then I got out of Columbia, came back to the Upstate. So then we move on to the Renegade Rumble at Tiger River, and the event did not go to plan at this point. I'm, still starting to play MA1. Still, trying to focus on playing MA1. First round does not go well for me. I shot 7 over at Tiger River, which came in at around 827, I believe. Yeah, just not a good showing at all. Not to my standards at all. Really took myself out of any chance of winning the event. I bounced back slightly in the second round, 2 under with a 915 rating. Still not to my standards. I want to shoot pretty hot at Tiger, but yeah, that leaves me at 11th out of 13 people in the MA1 division. Just not a good showcase for me. So then we move on to the Stony Hill Challenge, uh, a 3 round B tier at one of the best courses in South Carolina, arguably the best in South Carolina, Stony Hill Disc Golf Course. It's a private course. So into the event, I had only played one certain layout of the course, and that was the diamond layout. And aside from that, stuff had been moved still from when I had played it back in 2023, like around September of 2023. But first round, I come in, I shoot 3 over par, and it comes in around, I believe, 898 rated. Yeah, 898 rated. And then another shotgun start. Round 2, I shoot 1 over, and I believe that is around 915. Yeah, another 915. So I come back the next day, ready to play the diamond layout instead of the garnet layout. And I start off the day, okay, I can't really get a groove. Then I hit a couple circle 2 putts, really get myself going. I'm a few under par going into, I believe it is hole 12. It is a downhill shot, par 3 island hole. I throw my proxy, it hits left side chains. And yeah, it hits left side chains, spits out. I come up to the 5-footer, absolutely shank it to the left, and it kicks out. My confidence was completely ruined at that point. I let it get too much to me just because I didn't take my time. But I still finished that round. 1 over par, another 960 plus rated round, 962. I finished that event 14th out of 23rd. I knew there were some absolute powerhouses in this one, so I didn't really take it too personal. To be honest, I'm never in the MA1 division as of right now. I'm never really focused on winning. I really just want to keep on boosting my rating. So to round out April, we finished with the Dolly Cooper Classic, and of course Dolly Cooper. First round, I play pretty well. I finished 4 under, which came in at around 921. It's basically a birdie or die course. So enough to be on lead card, and my hopes were pretty high for the next day. And I come out and I shoot even par, just cannot keep pace with the people that are shooting hot. Putts off, throw is completely off, absolutely yanking my backhands, and no forehand at that point to really help myself. But that comes in rated at 868. So yeah, not a good way to finish. We finished that tournament placed 11th out of 14th place. So yeah, just a combination of high highs and low lows brings us to an 892 rated average for April. So moving on to May, we first started with the 8th annual Spartanburg Spring Fling, an event that I was really focused on. This was going to be the event originally where I was going to move up to MA1, and this was going to be if I had a win in MA2 or not. And this was I had made this decision back in like February, and then I later just made the decision: go ahead and make the jump, play with better people, and be able to feed off the energy. 3-round event. First 2 rounds at Tiger, then the next day tee times at Woodruff. I started off kind of slow, 3 down, I believe, at Tiger. Came around, it was a 918 rated round. Round 2 bounced back big. 6 down, 948 rated. I'm riding high on the chase card for the next day. Woodruff's my course, And then I come out to Woodruff, start off with, I believe, 5 straight pars to begin the day. And then I'm riding high going into hole 10, get the birdie. Hole 11, we have a 30-minute wait to play the new 11 blue. And I end up getting a birdie on that hole with a great patent pending shot. Hole 12, able to save a nice par, I believe. Hole 13 just started to fall apart. Started missing putts, had a terrible stretch at the end of the day, and I ended 2 down. Came in to 917, and I finished the event at 8th place out of 26. And I was, again, a little bit disappointed, but what can you do? Then we move to the Century Classic, another birdie or die course. Ended up 8th out of 10th place. Just didn't play that well. Only 1 under par in the first round, like around 875 rated. And then 4 down in the second round. It came in at like 918, I believe. Actually make that 914. But yeah, just kind of wash over that event. Just needed something to play that week. Then we had the Growling Open at, again, the Golden Grove course. First round, I come out and shoot 4 down. I have a 1-stroke lead after the first round. 965 rated. I was stoked. I was scared. I was anxious going into the second round. But second round, down the stretch, I was able to get a huge eagle on 6 where I put it into circle 1. And then just kind of had to scratch and claw to try to tie it. The last hole we had was hole 11. And the two guys on my card, they both kind of eke into the right side. I throw a forehand. I get a little bit lucky. I still have like a 25, 30 footer with a chance to win if I get the birdie. Hit the cage and end up losing in a 3-hole or a 2-hole playoff. So, but yeah, I finished the second round, 1 over for a rating of 920. Ended up coming what should have been a solo second because it was you had one hole knocked one person out, and then the second hole knocked me out. But kind of just T second out of 20 people, I believe. So yeah, at that point I was like, dude, I can win an event. I can win something. So for May, that brings our average to a pretty nice 922 in the month of May. So moving on to June, had a pipeline flex start to where I didn't really play well down the stretch. I could have shot pretty good, but just absolutely choked it down the stretch. Had a really bad putt. Had a terrible hole 18. Shot, I believe, +3 for like a 906 rating. Came T9th out of 15th at that. Then after that, or around that same time, I played a round at Firecracker in Fountain Inn for the Upstate Disc Golf Club League. I shot 5 under, and it only came in at 906, I believe. And I was just like, dude, if it's not gonna rate worth anything, then I'm not gonna play it. And I stopped going to that league just because you have to shoot, 11, 12 down to get into the 960s, 970s, 980s. So then we move on to Father's Day Holston style. Holston Blues, you've seen it on the channel. I mean, you've seen Holston on the channel. Holston Blues a little bit easier. I play pretty bad down the stretch. I mean, but Holston rate's great. I believe I have 7 over, and I came out of it with a 920 rating, which is, I could have shot even and, got a huge bump in my rating, but no, I just didn't really, you couldn't really put anything together throwing the disc. Came T14 out of 19 people in MA1. So then you also have the Hub City League. Round 1 was at Pipeline, mix of red, white, and blues. I shot 1 under for a rating of 892. Then we move on to Woodruff the next week. I shoot 3 under, and that was around 932 rated. Make that 933 rated, and it was a nice ratings boost every Tuesday. So gonna be nice to keep on trying to shoot hot in those. I think this league might be the opportunity I need to finally get a pro rated round. So I leave out one event for June, and that was the Firecracker pop off event at Firecracker in Fountain Inn. I come in at around 11. It's a flex start. So, I mean, I come out, 10:30, 11 o'clock, and I have to wait around an hour to get a card because we have to wait for the last people to come in. What a wonderful time. I just did that entire round recap, and it stopped recording. But let's go through it again. Hole 1, throw my hex left into the ground, backhand. Hole 1 is just not a good tee pad in my opinion. Very, very narrow, very tough to stay on. But yeah, pitch up, take a par. Hole 2, zone forehand, put it at like 15 feet, make the birdie putt. That's a birdie. Hole 3, kicks left off the fairway, scramble, put it 10 feet, make a par putt. Boom. Hole 4, I throw a zone spike hyzer, ends up at like 10 feet, easy bullseye birdie. Hole 5, literally same thing. Hole 6, I'm in between throwing a forehand over the road or a backhand that kind of hyzers into the gap, and I'm like, I'll throw my Luna backhand. Just kind of yam on it a little bit too hard, end up in the woods, pitch through, take my par. Hole 7, forehand gap. I kind of throw my S-line FD1 on a little bit of chop angle, and it ends up skipping back to the right, and it gives me like a 10-footer, and I make that easy. A late, really weird hole. Try that same S-line FD1 push straight, and then get right. Ended up not hitting the gap. I hit a tree, and I then take, you know, I take my time trying to think of what the next shot should be. End up trying a little Anheuser forehand around a tree, and I should have just thrown the forehand up and then take my par instead of trying to run it. And I hit the tree, end up with like a 30, no, around a 40-footer, trying to make a par save, and I leave it left, a little bit high left. Come up to the tap in for the four. It's low middle, low dead center, and it spits out on me. And I take a 5 on hole 8. So I'm like, dude, that spit out was egregious. So then I just move on to hole 9. I kind of leave my zone backhand a little bit inside, crashes into the hill, leaves me like a edge of circle just outside the circle, downhill putt, hit the band, take my par. Then we get a big stretch to start the back 9. Hole 10, put it just outside the bullseye on an uphill zone shot, take my birdie. Hole 11, I'd never birdied it before that time. Flex forehand with my Firebird down a right side gap, and I end up left and deep around 30 to 35 feet. So it could be a circle 1 or circle 2 bid. Doesn't matter. I make the putt. Great putt. So yeah, take a birdie there. 12. Sharp zone hyzer parked. Take the birdie. Hole 15. No. Whoa. Hole 13. Island hole. Raise your claw. Hyzer slow. Puts it in the island. Take the birdie. Hole 14, I throw my destroyer on a big par 4. It needs to carry the fence. Get over. I'm like, I could just ease this slammer up there, take an easy birdie. I leave it really short. Leaves me a 30-footer. I miss the putt, then make the comebacker. Hole 14, pipe a classic Carolina Woods hole. Leave it deep, make the comebacker. That's another birdie. Hole 16, par 4. I've tried to reach it before. I've came very close to getting the eagle, but I get over the fence, have around a 50-60 footer. I give like a little floaty bid to make sure I end up, if I'm not in the basket, I'm right next to the basket. It doesn't go in, unfortunately, but I make the easy birdie putt. And at that point, I'm like, you know what? I'll check scores. Or just somebody brings up scores, and I'm like, all right, let's check them right here. I make down, and I'm like, what was the earliest score? What was that? What's the hot round right now for M1? And it was 8 down. So I'm 8 down with 2 to play. So I'm like, dude, I can take this down. Hole 17, there a forehand, get the unluckiest skip of my life. It was going to be parked, and then it skips off some wood, nearly goes OB, but leaves me with an obstructed putt that I cannot make. I hit band. I don't hit band. I hit the basket. I'm like, dang, dude, I should have knocked that down. So hole 18, a lot more pressure on it. I throw my razor claw on a nice pushing hyzer, and it ends up a little bit short and left 25 feet behind the basket, sheer drop off. If I miss that next putt, then I'm probably taking a 4 and I'm losing. I'm like, I come up to it and there's a headwind. I'm like, I could just lay this up, but the pride inside me could not lay that putt up, and I'm like, I just need to hit metal of some kind. So I step up to it, I get back in my stance, I kind of, leave it a little bit low, just try to get it float in there. Stays in the air, starts to hyzer, low, middle, left. Goes in, longest putt. It felt like the longest time for a putt to go in my life. And I take down Firecracker with a score of 9 down, comes in at 967, which is huge. My highest rated round to date, and it makes for a great end for the month of June. For June, that brings our average to 921. Also, crunching all of those numbers together, in terms of the round actual scores, in terms of rating to par. I am 3 under for the year if my math is correct, which is very interesting. I'm gonna try to stay under par. Try to see how much under par I can get for the year. So, what is next for my rated rounds? Of course, you have the common milestones. You know, your 970s, your 980s, your 990s, and of course, your 1,000 rated rounds plus. But right now, I'm really focused on replacing the old bad scores back that are turning a year old and starting to be taken off my PDGA rating, replacing those with really good ones, so my rating can just shoot up. I believe in either this or the next rating update. I will be, you know, I will be 900 plus rated, which is going to be a huge milestone for me. I believe I play around a 920 rated player, so it's be great for me to see that actually pan out. So I hope you enjoyed this one. If you want a jersey like this one or a hat like this, check out flippydiscgolf.com, where you could use my code RWEST71 for 10% off at checkout. But that's up to you. If you want to look great on the course, it's a good decision. If you want to view a video like you've been seeing on this, check out my Project 1% series. I believe the next episode will cover upshots, as that's becoming an important thing for me. But, um, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Thank you for watching as always, and I will catch you in the next video.